Hi, friends. Thank you for downloading today's podcast. Be sure to check us out on the web at www.thesceneshow.com, where you can find our blog and find the new exclusives and new offers to you, the listeners. Don't forget to check us out, and be sure to, if able to, consider donating to the Scene Show. And in order to help us out, in order to offer incentives to guests and buy new equipment and things of that nature. 100% of your proceeds will go back into the show. And thank you for listening. We hope you enjoy today's broadcast. Oh, there we go. Okay, so we're going to try it here and see what happens. It says my connection's good, so hopefully everybody can hear me. This is the relaunch of The Scene Show, my podcast that's been going on here for the last year now. And so I just wanted this to be the official reboot, the official launch of season 2 of The Scene Show. We moved over to Buzzsprout, we moved from Buzzsprout to Podbean, so that's kind of exciting, and I'm trying to I'm just trying to see if this will actually work, and if this is actually working as it should. So this will be a trial run, and hopefully I can take the audio and edit it later. I've also got it working on a local file, so if there's any problems with it on the live stream, we've got the local file to work with later on. So, but we marked 1 year of The Scene Show on October 6th, and we had been off the air due to scheduling issues and work-related problems, and so I had been off the air, and so that's why I haven't been doing it lately, is because of the fact that I've been transitioning into a new job and into and really in and out and really out of the mindset of ministry, but I am here now to come back and start a new season of edifying, educating, and encouraging the body of Christ. That is the goal. That is our threefold aim here at the Scene Show: to edify, educate, and encourage the body of Christ. And we've done a lot of educating in the last year. We've primarily focused on church history, or on history, church history to be exact. But this is to mark now a shift and a new direction for the show, because of the fact that we had been doing church history. We only did in that time one interview, and I'd like to do more interviews, to have more of that thing going on with. We interviewed Father Bath, and I believe that was back in, I want to say March or somewhere around there. But we interviewed Father Bath, my friend Father Bath, and that was one of our most popular episodes. And so I'd like to again start doing more interviews and have more listener participation. I'm trying this podcast live on Buzzsprout, or not. I keep saying Buzzsprout. It's Podbean. That's why I shifted over. Plus, it was a cost-cutting measure. It allowed us to cut some of our expenses in producing the show. So let's go back and reflect on the first year. We began the pilot episode by discussing mental health and the current events of that time. Then we laid the foundation for the show with a discussion on just war theory, the moral law, faith and reason, and Christian unity. And it is always my hope that someone will gain something from this podcast, whether you are Catholic or Protestant, or I suppose for that matter, Eastern Orthodox, because I forget that there are Eastern Orthodox Christians out there. And then we moved into the series on Christian thought, church history, and its development. We covered some of the key events like the Council of Nicaea, and critical people like St. Augustine, St. Thomas, and finally the man called Luther. And that's where we left off. But now we're moving into a new season. And indeed, we are going to finish the series. But I want to propose we do so much more. That we cover the issues that matter most, that we bring you the interviews like those with Father Bath. We had started a sister show, a sister series called Behind the Scenes, and what I've done now is, pardon my yawn there. What I've done now is I've gone through and have put those episodes. I put all the episodes are now under the Scene Show. Are now listed. If you go on wherever you listen to your podcasts and wherever you get your podcasts, whether it's Apple or Spotify or whatever, you can find all of the episodes previously done are listed there as the Scene Show. Even the behind the scenes episodes are now listed as the Scene Show. And so what I'm hoping is this combined sort of show now for season 2, as we start season 2, that it will be able to, well, first of all, it will make it easier for me now working full time and having that going on to be able to work and focus on one show, put all my energy into one show, and then that will and yet allow us to produce the same content. So if if a thought comes up for a devotional, we can do a devotional. If a thought comes up for the church history, working on that script, we can work on that script. If the opportunity presents itself for an interview, we can do an interview, and we can do it all under the banner of the Scene Show. That's always kind of been my focus and my number one brand for the show is the Scene Show, and that's because of the fact that, remember, I mentioned this way back a year ago when we started, that the name The Scene Show comes from my brother and I pretending to be on the radio when we were kids. And so that's always kind of been the inspiration for it. And you can find we do have a website, thesceneshow.com, and that should still be live, and I'll have to excuse me. That's what happens when you work full time. You get to yawning. But I will work on making sure that the content on the website is up to date and current. It's just it's difficult with being one person and trying to do all of this stuff at the same time. So I want to thank you for coming back. If you've listened to this show and followed us, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for giving, for following me this far in this journey of podcasting, this journey of being a YouTuber, or being a just being someone who does this platform and engages in this platform. Now, what is the sort of the best thing? Yeah. So, well, first of all, before I get into that, I want to mention the lesson we did the Lessons and Carols podcast at the end of last year. That is going to happen again this year, and I gotta stop yawning. Oh, good thing there's post production, but um, not when you're on the air live. But we did the Lessons and Carols show, and again, I want to thank Josh Snodgrass for letting us use the music, because that would not have been possible. That episode would not have been possible without having the access to his library of recordings that he and so I would of course give a plug for him. We had some I included some plugs in there with my friend Dan Okren does his own podcast called Teach the Word, where he does expository lessons from the scriptures, and or topical lessons from the scriptures, depending on what mood he's in, or what's going on in his walk with the Lord. So I'll give another plug to him to check, to be sure to check him out. And lastly, as we conclude here, I want to just say, if you followed me on this journey, spread the word. Podcasts grow by word of mouth, by sharing, by having conversations about it, and anything you can do in that regard is a big support. And if you'd like to be on the show, if you feel that your testimony, your walk with the Lord, your journey with Him has produced some good stories, some good content for our listeners, then you can then you can then you can be on the show as well. Just send me an email at tyakalis, that's tyakalis at hotmail.com, and just we'll have a discussion there, have a conversation there, and I'll make the determination whether or not I feel that you're a good fit for the show or not. And of course, if you're able to help, I would ask that you consider helping us financially. There are monthly expenses that are involved in making this show, and anything that you can do there is also a huge blessing as well. So that's really about it. I wanted to just come back on the air with this episode, and just officially launch season 2. So we're officially moving into season 2 now, and we'll be in season 2 for the next year. So we're going to continue the with the history stuff. We're going to continue with that, and then we're going to try and see what we can do in terms of interviews, and in terms of producing the same sort of content that was on behind the scenes. If you remember, we had done our series on biblical marriage, and the essentially looking at the godly view of marriage. And so that was what we did on that show. And so what I want to do is take these two ideas, and let them come together under one roof, under the guise of the Seed Show, of course, because that was the show that was near and dear to my heart. And so I want to thank you for listening today. I want to thank you for putting up with my yawning and my really being tired. It's been difficult to my hours keep changing at work, and so it's been hard to find a schedule that works. But I'm hopeful that this arrangement will be a good one and will work for doing the podcast once again. So let's raise a glass and celebrate season 2 of the Scene Show. We're back and going to make it the best year. We're going to make it the best year that it can possibly be. So the best is yet to come. Again, thank you for listening today, and I hope you have a blessed week.